You're listening to How I See It, hosted by Han. You guessed it, that's me. I am here to motivate and inspire you with guests from all different industries and backgrounds. So get ready for personal stories of success, of growth, full of highs and lows, and of course, unapologetic realness. This is How I See It. Hi, you guys. I am back with a solo episode today. I don't really know where to start, honestly. I have been wanting to do a solo for a while, but I haven't even had, honestly, the right words or bandwidth, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to explain. There has been so much shit hitting the fan for me right now. I'm laughing. I think I feel a little bit exposed, but also it's almost comical, like how down bad I've been. I went back to therapy, which has been great, but also really shitty. I feel like if you've engaged with therapy, I'm assuming if you're listening, you probably have. You know the duality of therapy being amazing and simultaneously shitty at the same time. And I guess I've just been trying, I don't know. I guess I've been trying, or I guess waiting for this like common thread to appear, so that I could come on in a solo episode and evaluate all the shit that's been going on and be able to find a common piece of hope, maybe a common thread to share with you guys. And nothing has come. And it's been weeks and weeks, and it's been weighing and weighing. And it finally came, sort of, today or 2 days ago. And I literally even had to tell my team to like wait on preparation for the next episode, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to just get a solo out, because I still was like on the fence about what I was going to say. And it finally came to me when a song popped up today. And if you're really close to me, like really close to me, you know how emo I get around the song Landslide by Stevie Nicks or Fleetwood Mac. I have like a visceral reaction to this song. I get teary-eyed, and if I try to sing along, like I can't even get through it. Like I have to like choke it down. Like I do not know how to describe it to you. It only happens to me with this song. And when I heard it today, I was about to like change the station, because seriously, every single time it comes on, I like immediately have to change the station. And instead, I just let it play. And I remembered the first time I actually heard the song. I was 17, and the years 15 to 17 were really, really hard for me. I mean, a lot of my childhood was really, really hard mentally, but I specifically remember 15 to 17 being extremely hard. I felt very suicidal during that time of my life, which I've talked about here before. And I think when I heard the song, it really embodied, and I think it still does, which is why it's so emotional, how difficult it is to reconcile with the question, can I handle the seasons of my life? Stevie Nicks says that in the song. There's like, it's about like life being a landslide and things being really hard and confusing and not knowing if you're going to be able to make it through the seasons of your life. I'm already getting teary-eyed thinking about the song. I'm telling you, this song is like a visceral reaction for me. I've opened up about my childhood trauma a little bit, the family dynamics. If you've been raised by a narcissist, you totally get it. But aside from that, there were so many things happening growing up till that point, that like when I was 17 and I heard this song, that made me just feel exhausted. Like I was done. I felt like I had lived a really long life at that point. I was mad at the world, and I honestly didn't think I could take anymore. And looking at the mountain and knowing that there were going to be a lot more landslides, not to keep the metaphor going, but looking at the mountain and realizing that there was probably a lot more to come was really hard for me, because I think in knowing that you have a choice, right? And I think the song makes me emotional now, because every time I hear it, it reminds me that I was and still am willing to make the choice to keep getting up, knowing that there are going to be a lot of seasons of life. I haven't been sure how I want to record this episode, because I haven't been able to figure out how I'm going to talk about everything that I'm struggling with mindset wise, what's happening in my life, and be able to pull a common thread of hope or a life lesson, an inspirational mic drop, so that you guys can listen and feel hopeful and inspired. I've seriously been thinking I talked about this with my therapist last week. Like, what can I say within the trauma and the bullshit that can make you guys feel like there's a silver lining? I haven't had it in me to examine everything and lay it out and somehow tie it into a bow and package it really well. And for the last 3 weeks, seriously, like 3 weeks, I felt so embarrassed. I felt like a fraud that I haven't been able to do that. I haven't been able to look at everything and package something up for a solo episode. And not that it wouldn't be authentic, but really I haven't been able to, like I normally am able to, look at everything that's going on in my life, the ups and the downs, and be able to synthesize hope. But then it dawned on me that maybe that was a good thing for me. I went back to therapy for a couple of reasons. The first being that I haven't been able to feel happy in my life for a bit. Like I am and I'm not. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. Like I'm really happy with like a lot of it. And I feel like I've accomplished so much. I'm living my dream. Seriously, like getting to work and do what you love is such a dream. But then I'm not. At the same time, I feel like I'm living in fucking Groundhog's Day. And it's been really, really hard. Secondly, I know that there's a lot that I have like kept in a corner from my past and my childhood that I feel ready now as like an almost 30-year-old to like step into. I feel like I'm in a good place in my career too, where I have the bandwidth to do that. And then third, I didn't realize there was a third reason until recently. But thirdly, I realized that I went back to therapy because I didn't know how to feel my feelings, like really feel my feelings. I talk a lot on the podcast about forcing yourself to look in the mirror. I proudly can do this. I feel like I'm really good at this point at looking at my behaviors and the things that have happened to me. And I'm really good at keeping myself accountable. But the intellectualization of my trauma and feelings, I guess, the way I've learned to process feelings, which has been through intellectualization, has resulted in me feeling very disconnected from my body, from my emotions, in a way that has kept me and my growth very stagnant. So for the last couple months, I've been forced, and I guess I willingly been forced to look in the mirror and look in the mirror in a way that's not normal for me. Because instead of intellectualizing what I see, I've been trying to just look, acknowledge, and sit in the feelings of my life. My parents' divorce is not final. I don't think I've opened up about that yet. I think I recorded an episode where I talked about it, but I haven't made it live yet. So there you go. My parents are in the middle of a divorce. Very complicated considering the parental dynamics in this situation, and very complicated as the holidays approach. I've removed myself, but have to deal with the hurt, the anger, and the guilt that comes with a lot of the past. I feel like if your parents have been through a divorce, you kind of know, like your childhood kind of plays back. A situationship that I told myself would work itself out this year has in fact not. It's incredibly painful. It's embarrassing. It's heartbreaking for me. It's fucking intense. The holidays are coming and I'm having to physically remove myself from things with him, things with my friend group, remove myself from parties and New Year's Eve celebrations and go out of town so that I don't fucking lose my shit from being so incredibly heartbroken and frustrated that I am single again, or not even single. I don't even care about being single, more so that I'm still in this situation for the holidays again. Plus on top of that, I'm balancing a 15 plus client agency that needs my hand in everything, and I'm training new employees, and I have my own brand partnerships, and I have a podcast, and all of it's my dream, yet I'm frustrated and upset, and I can't even show up to the podcast because to even do this episode, it either means I'm exposing myself, which I guess I don't care about now because I'm doing it, or I feel fake because I'm not showing up in the way that represents where I'm at. By the way, I feel really guilty about that because again, this is my dream. I'm supposed to be happy. All this to say, not to trauma dump, I just want to be really real. It seemed pretty fucking depressing to come on here and podcast and expose myself like this. But I realized that the reason I haven't been able to sit and do the episode and the reason I haven't been able to package like I normally do is because I'm actually moving forward in my healing. And there, I guess, is where I'm finding hope. I have been feeling weirdly uncomfortable and anxious, but then like apathetic, like disconnected. I feel like I'm pendulum swinging between like hopelessness and disassociation, which has been intense, but honestly pretty profound for me. And I know would probably be profound to hear for a lot of other people who struggle to really feel their feelings and who automatically disassociate or focus on something else when feelings start to creep in. And it reminded me of something that I preach here a lot, which is that the healing journey is not pretty. I think I'd forgotten. Facing ourselves is not pretty. Trauma, relationships, childhood wounds, all not pretty. And they're not actually packageable if we want to live in a real way. I've had the pleasure of recently taking on a bunch of new clients, like media personality and founder clients, which is something really close to my heart, which I really, really love to do with the agency. And one of my clients is great friends with Dr. Edie Egger. She's an Auschwitz Holocaust survivor. She is an author of multiple books. She is a psychologist. She's her PhD. She said when I met her, that she wasn't a shrink, but a stretcher, which I thought was very cool. But she's pretty much the epitome of inspiration. I think we can all agree. And hope. I don't even know how. And I had the pleasure of meeting her the other day. And one of the many, many inspiring things she said while I was there for an hour and a half, she's 98, by the way, was that suffering is just feelings. And the more feelings you have, the more alive you are. And it's something that I've decided that I'm coming back to anytime that I'm feeling like this and that I'm feeling hopeless and I don't see the silver lining and I don't know if I can make it through the seasons of my life, that the more suffering we have, the more feelings we have, or we should allow ourselves to have, I should say, and the more alive we can feel. I feel very committed to choosing to get back up and to say yes every time the question of can I face the seasons of my life pops up. I know that if you're listening, you probably are just as committed, but that doesn't make the pursuit any less difficult, especially when things are falling apart. And especially with the holiday season around the corner, it doesn't make it any easier. Thanksgiving this week, Christmas in a couple weeks, then New Year's. I guess my challenge for you and for myself, she affirms, is to think about suffering and the feelings around it, whether it's complicated family dynamics, whether it's childhood wounds, whether it's insecurity, whether it's relationships, whether it's depression, anxiety, as the greatest reminder that you're alive. And that's the greatest gift, even when it doesn't feel like it. I was thinking about this today as I was scrolling TikTok. I'm not even gonna lie. I was gonna say I was reading something. I was scrolling TikTok and I saw this girl talking about 13-year-old her. And it made me so emotional because 13-year-old me would think I was the coolest person ever, the coolest girl in the world. I could have never imagined that I would be here literally sitting in my own podcast studio doing what I'm doing. And the fact of the matter is I don't feel very cool right now. I feel really fucking shitty right now, actually. I feel very pathetic and angry. I feel like a fraud. And I guess I'm going to work on challenging myself to look at what I'm doing, who I am, and the courage it takes to show up every day as the 13-year-old girl who couldn't have imagined this, who would have wanted to be seen by someone like me. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, and it's in a couple days. And I'm hosting again at my house, which is actually very exciting for me, but I can't even believe it. I've said it, I feel like you can tell from this episode, I'm not in the best of places, but I'm grateful and I'm trying to be, and I'm really proud of myself for allowing myself to not have to package up everything I'm feeling in a perfect bow. The holidays are really complicated, and I probably won't come on to do a Christmas episode. I'll probably do a New Year's episode, so I wanted to say it now. If you're feeling really anxious and overwhelmed and upset about the holiday season or the season of life you're in, know that you are not alone. You're definitely not alone, and you're going to get through it. And like Dr. Edie says, suffering is just feelings, and the more feelings you have, the more alive you are. And I think that's something to be really, really grateful for, and something that I'm going to challenge myself to really focus on during this season. So we are back, and we'll be back with another normal episode next week. And I'm going to try to stay committed to showing up here for more solos. It's something I've really wanted to do, and again, have just not felt motivated to do or comfortable to do because I haven't been able to package things in a pretty way, but I've decided I don't give a fuck and that I'm just going to show up like this. So come back next week. Please rate the pod. Please, please, please. Obviously follow, but more so just rate and review the podcast. It means so much to me. This community has been growing kind of quickly right now, which is awesome. It's so exciting for me. And this space is really, really important to me and really close to my heart, which is why I feel like I've been kind of existential about not being able to show up as like with a solo here. So please do that and follow me on Instagram, of course, but the podcast as well for podcast updates and for the clips and to see my face. I feel like solos are a little bit awkward because I'm literally just staring at the camera, but that's it. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll be back next week with another episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you leave here feeling motivated and inspired. Do not forget to rate and review the pod on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and don't forget to follow How I See It Pod so you can keep up with podcast updates and see who's coming on next. And if you're not already, come join the fam and follow at How Han Sees It. Thank you guys.